Hello, it's Antonia here today with my very first layout for Hip Kit Club. And for this layout I'm using the February 2024 main kit, embellishment kit and cardstock kit. And as you can see, I'm also using one of the January cut files, which is free for subscribers to the Kit Club. And this cut file was in fact the inspiration for this layout. It just reminded me of a cake my daughter had for her first communion party, and some of the cardstocks in the cardstock kit were the perfect colour match for the cake, so it was just a really lucky coincidence. What I'm doing here is I'm using the negative cut-offs from the cut file as a template to cut around them. I just find this a bit easier to do sometimes than drawing around the cut file instead. And you'll see later that the more intricate bits I've actually cut out on my silhouette machine. So while I'm backing the cut file, let me tell you a little bit about the Hip Kit Club. As a subscriber, you save $5 on the monthly main kit, and you also receive a 15% discount on any add-on kits purchased. These add-on kits ship free with the main kit, and you also get access to all of the monthly cut files like this one free of charge. So I backed the cake bit of the cut file, and at this point I'm starting to think about which pattern paper to choose for background, because that will then determine which pattern papers to use for the floral bits. I really liked the Delicate Flower patterned paper, but it just made the layout a little bit too blue, and I wanted the pinks and reds to be more dominant. So I chose this sort of shell typey pattern paper, which was a really hard decision because I really liked the purple plaid design on the other side. So this was a bit of a sacrifice, but I really liked how it coordinated with the cardstock and also with my photo. So as I mentioned before, in here you can see how I used my cutting machine to cut out the petals on the flower. And what I tend to do with cut files, as you might have noticed, is that I cut the front bit, which is the cut file instead, and then I do like a mat or a base, which is the same shape as the outline of the cut file. And I just find it easier sometimes to adhere the backing pieces on this background. It's less messy, and it also gives a nice stable base for my cut file, so I don't have to worry about it warping or getting damaged in the scrapbooking process. So for the final smallest details of the floral parts of the cut file, I just fussy cut these by hand and I adhere them directly to the back of the cut file. I also did the cake stand off camera, and then I just assembled the two pieces together. So here I'm just starting to assemble my background. I've chosen my main background paper earlier, but I also wanted to add a couple of layers. And for the paper at the very back I have chosen the B side of one of the cardstock paper, and I just this is a pattern I wouldn't usually go for as a choice, but actually for this particular layout, for this particular photo, I just really liked it. And I have sandwiched a more solid, a darker pattern paper to create a bit of a contrast. I added quite a few of the roly-poly flowers that came in the main kit. Unfortunately, I didn't realize it at the time, but I've done most of it off camera, so I cut this bit out of the process video. But I basically, once I rolled the flowers from the outside towards the inside, I adhered it with my usual ATG tape, which seems to hold it quite well for the time being, but I might go back at a later time if needed, and I might use a heavier duty adhesive. So next I'm getting my title ready, although I'm not adhering it at this time, because the cut file and the photo and the roly-poly flowers took up quite a big space on the background paper. I decided to keep the title quite small, so I just used the puffy alphas from the main kit. And then I'm going on to the embellishment clustering process. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about this because there was a question recently on the Facebook group about how people don't get overwhelmed when using more than one kit with all the different types of embellishments. So this is my way of selecting the embellishment pieces. And what I tend to do, that once I get to this stage, I look at the colours and I look at the theme of my layout. So this one is a photo taken at a celebration. The subject on the photo is my daughter. So I would consider anything that's girly. I chosen hearts, flowers, butterflies, rainbows. So I'm quite a literal thinker and a literal scrapbooker, which means that the theme of my layout has to closely match the theme of my photos. But this can actually help the selection process of the right embellishments without getting too overwhelmed. And I'm just adding the title to the page, and I'm keeping it simple because I don't want it to compete with the cut file and the photo, and because the place I'm adding it, I can't really line it up in a straight line, so I'm just kind of doing it in a purposefully haphazard manner. And then I'm just adding a few more puffy stickers, and then I'm completing the page adding the foam glitter hearts, which is just the luscious thing I've seen for a long while. And I'm adding a few to each embellishment cluster just to create cohesion and continuity on the page. So here's my completed layout and some close-ups. I do hope you enjoyed my process video, and for more inspiration be sure to check out all the other videos on this channel. And if you like what you see, please subscribe and press the notification bell for any updates and new uploads onto the channel. Thanks for watching. Bye now.